In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use a custom formula and a custom template that I created that's going to help you create the very best content that's going to get you to rank well in RankBrains. So what we know about RankBrains is we basically have to do two main things. The first thing is we have to get a ton of clicks in search in order to beat the expected click-through rate based on our position. Second thing that we need to do is we need to figure out how to create content that keeps people on the page for a very long time and make sure, ideally, that they never go back to search again and click on another result. So we want them to stay on the page and we don't want them to go back to search results. And we're going to use another template in order to do that. So the first thing that we want to do is get a higher expected click-through rate than what Google is expecting for your position. And the way that we do that is we create a perfect title tag. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this template here, and we're just going to fill in all of the areas in yellow. This will take you a total of 10 minutes. All you have to do is you have to Google the keyword that you're trying to rank for. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take each one of these title tags, you're going to copy it, and you're going to paste it in here. And then you're just going to make some very, very simple observations about that title tag. So I'm going to say, is this a list article? Yes. Is there a year in the title? No. Is the exact match keyword in the title tag? Yes. Was it published recently? I'm going to go no. And then I'm going to look at what is the intent of this keyword. This is informational intent. I'm going to put that right there. You fill that out for all 10. That's going to take you a total of 10 minutes. And I've already done that, so a finished version of that looks exactly like this. You can see I filled in each one of these title tags. And what this has done is I've automatically got a formula building in the bottom here, which is going to tell you the very most important factors that you need to include in your title tag. So you can see 100% of the title tags include the exact match keyword. So I have to, that's bare minimum. Second thing is they're very recent articles. So I know if I'm re-optimizing a piece of content, or even if I'm creating a new piece of content, that it's going to have to be recent in order for people to want to click on it. More than half of these articles are brand new as of this year. I also know 56% are list articles. So I'm going to think, okay, I probably want to make this a list. And then 22% include the year. So that's a nice to have, probably not necessary. And then lastly, I know the intent is informational. Then the last thing here is I noticed that this phrase expat showed up 40% of the time. So I'm going to consider putting that into my title tag. Now, using all of this data that I just gathered, I'm going to create the perfect title tag. So I'm going to make a list article 13, and I'm using my exact match keyword, best places to live in Mexico. I'm going to say as an expat because that's mentioned 40% of the time. It's probably part of the search intent. And then I'm going to include the year because I see that that's included 22% of the time. Boom. I've created a perfect title tag that incorporates all of the best things that we found in search results for page 1 results. Okay, second thing that we know that we have to do is we have to keep people on the page. And ideally, we never want them to go back to search results to click on some competitor's results to weave together a complete story. So how do we do that? We do that through really, really good UX. We do it through outstanding readability. We use imagery as expected per the keyword. So if they're expecting video, we need to create video. If they're expecting a lot of graphics and visual content, we need to create that stuff. And then lastly, we need to have the appropriate conversion forms. So again, we're just going to audit and we're going to enter all of that information here as we go through each one of the pieces of content. And this will take you an additional 10 minutes. So let's just quickly look at the first one. I'm going to click into this and we can see right off the bat, okay, no, not a broad use of imagery. I'm going to say that's no. There's only one image. That doesn't quite qualify. Do we have any CTAs? Yes, we've got request a free quote. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to check, okay, well, how big is the font? I want to know how readable this is. And quick hint here, smaller font is not better. People don't like squinting at web font. So try to keep it on the larger side if you can. You don't want it to look like a children's coloring book, but you do want some sort of balance there in between. So I'm going to inspect this element here. I'm going to see that is a 16-point font. Okay, I'm going to add that all into the finished sheet here for each one of these. And I can see, all right, I got that 15-point font. I saw that there was a lead button conversion item. I saw there was no video media, and I saw there was no broad imagery. And then lastly, you need to use either ClearScope or MarketMuse or whatever similar TF-IDF tool to figure out how in-depth the content is for each one of the pieces of content. And as you fill out this template, all of the data gets filtered into this content optimization guide down below. So what we know is, based on your tool, what score you need to hit with your content, the font size on average for all of the competing articles, so you get an idea of, oh my God, I've got squinty font or I've got ginormous font. You probably want to fit somewhere in the middle so that your content is very easily legible. And then you want to get an idea, is this particular keyword, does it require video? Are people expecting video when they search this or not? And in this case, 11%, only one of those have video. I'm going to say probably not. Next, I want to know, is imagery a really important thing? Are people expecting lots of images in this content? 89% of articles use broad imagery all over the content. As I went through these, they had tons and tons of images. I'm going to say, yes, this is an important thing for this query, and you should use lots of broad imagery. And then lastly, I saw the conversion CTAs. They range all over the board. Most of them are micro intent. Usually it's trying to do some sort of lead gen type of thing. Okay, so together now we have all the makings to create the very best title tag possible based on data. We can see here we've created the best title tag, everything that everybody's expecting. And we have all the makings to create really, really readable content that's super in-depth using ClearScope or MarketMuse. We've made it legible with the right font size, and we've got an appropriate conversion action. We know whether or not we need video, and we know whether or not we need to create broad use of imagery. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button. Helps me out a ton. It helps me create more of these videos.